Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
The views and opinions expressed on Trudging Together are solely those of the host, co-host, and our guests. They do not necessarily reflect the views of any organization, fellowship, or other entity, and definitely not your boss, your neighbor, or that one guy in your home group. The content of this program is not intended to replace medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're looking for that, please seek guidance from qualified professionals who spent way too many years in school. What you'll hear here is based on lived experience, recovery journeys, and the occasional bad coffee-fueled joke. Trudging Together is not affiliated with any 12-step fellowship. We are simply people sharing our stories and walking this path together, one day at a time. Thank you for joining us, and remember, recovery is serious business, but that doesn't mean we can't laugh along the way.
Trudging Tuesday, here we are. Good morning. Amber says my feet hurt. What, you wore platforms to a Bronco game? Yeah, I'm getting too old for fashion. Yeah, you get to a point in life where comfort. All right. Heck, I even find myself wearing socks with sandals now. I'm that old. Yep. I don't care either. Right. My wife don't give a fuck. Why should I? Oh, men, they're so stupid. Right. That's what they're saying of that. Anyway, hope you're having a good day. Watching a lot of stuff. So you can wear your leg warmers. There you go. All right. And I just saw a post and it said, love will not get somebody sober. I'm not, you know what? Here's the thing. Bullshit. What do you think gets people sober? Do you know what the answer to almost everything that we have is? It's love. Love is the answer. The opposite of everything in our lives has been love. The problem is we didn't know how to love. We didn't know how to do it the right way. And we had to be taught. I did. I had to be taught. I didn't understand it. Kind of like honesty. I didn't quite get it. Love is the answer. Why do you think I do what I do? Do you think I do it because I like it? No, I love it. I love everything that I do. I try and attach love with everything that I do. I have an abundance of it. My cup overfloweth with love, man. It is the answer. So don't stop loving somebody because they have an addiction or because they are alcoholic. Love them more because they need it. And if you have it, give it away. One day it'll be their chance to do it. But until they actually experience it, it's going to be null and void. So don't stop. Don't stop loving that person just because they're an alcoholic or addict because they have a mental illness. That is silly. Okay? That has been my experience. And every day I get to experience something because of it. Yesterday, another thing happens, right? It may not seem like a big deal to other people, but Amber and one of my sponsees met at the Bronco game. Now, if I wouldn't have asked, hey, Amber, do you want to be on my podcast? She wouldn't be my friend. This other person wouldn't be my sponsee if I wouldn't have said something. If I wouldn't have said something, if there wouldn't have been love involved, this meeting would not have happened. Do you get it? I hope so. I hope so. Just because I decided, did I do something? Not really. They went to the game or whatever, but I got to be a part of it, you see? These are the connections that God will make. He will do this stuff in your fucking life. The other day on Sunday, it's noon 03. I'm like, oh shit, I better hop on a random meeting. I hop on a random meeting in Ireland, and guess who's there? Amber. You think this is coincidence, people? You think this is just happening? No, this is God working in our lives. This is God talking directly to us. And it's beautiful. And I don't want you to miss out on it. Because if you miss out on it, then there's less people over here, and I become a little bit more lonely. It's selfish, I know, but it works. It works. Welcome to the Daily Trudge. I'm Dion. I'm your host. If you're here, please say hello, whether watching live or the rewatch. We have rewatching, right? A lot of rewatchers, right? So, those are just funny jokes. Those are not what I'm looking for, because you know what time it is. I got this part of the way there, but I didn't get it set up. All right. And they always have like ads all over the place, so it's kind of hard to. So, guess what time it is? I got to do it. I got to set up a thing. And I say that every time. All right. It is time for Dion's daily jokes. And they're not really Dion's. I'm reading them off somewhere. So I take not taking credit to the extreme. I really do. Classic Dad Groaners is what the title of this one is. What do you call fake spaghetti? An impasta. An impasta, my friends. An impasta. Want to hear a construction joke? Oh, never mind. I'm still working on it. Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field. That was actually pretty good. I used to hate facial hair, but then it grew on me. All right, one more. Okay. What do you call a factory that makes okay products? A satisfactory. All right. Yeah. Shaving. When you're a little boy, you just can't wait to start to grow facial hair. You can't. Most boys go through this anyway. And then you do start growing facial hair, and you're like, oh, cool. Then when you turn around, you're like, fuck, I gotta shave again. Oh, poor us. We got to shave our face. Poor us. We got to shave our face. Just this area on our body right here. Poor us. I'm in a mood today. I am in a mood, and it's a very, very good one. I am feeling the movement of God today. I am feeling it. I feel it. Do you feel it? Is it just me? Or is something happening? And it's good, too. It's a good thing. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. I ain't going to try and figure it out either. So the circle and the triangle, I'm sure we are all familiar with that. It is our AA symbol. All right. And today we're going to discover a little bit of what it means, where it came from, why we utilize it, because it does have an importance. And I never, ever hear about it in me. Well, I might hear people talk about the sides of the triangle, but they don't talk about the circle. The circle goes in a circle. It's never-ending love. That's what we're gonna call it right now. They'll describe it the right way in the book, though. It's just Dion's a little bit hooked on love. All right. Service of the Third Legacy. So we're gonna be in page. All right. AA comes of age. And it was funny because I'm like, hey, it comes of age. Okay. And I went to go get the PDF on my computer because that's what I usually do. I'm like, Dion, you own that book. You actually have that one. And I was like, fuck yeah. Yeah, good morning, Angel. Man, I had to save my beginnings for the end because it's the beginnings of these that really go back and listen to the beginning of this one. You have a chance, Angel. Angel and I are getting ready to do some stuff together. Yeah, yeah. There's there. I'm doing a lot of stuff. I have not been bringing it up. Amber and Angel know what I'm doing, but it's just I don't feel the need to bring it up yet for some reason. Just know it's about community and helping each other. But that's not surprising coming from me. So, all right. Service, the third legacy. We are gathered here today for the final hours of the AA's 20th anniversary celebration. That's when they presented this new logo. Above us floats a banner which is inscribed the new symbol for the AA circle enclosed in a triangle. The circle stands for the whole world of AA. For the whole world of AA. Okay? AA at the moment is about 2 million strong, if not more. It's more than that, just so you know. It's closer to 3 million because they're just counting the people that are currently in. What about the people that we have affected that aren't even alcoholic, that are non-alcoholic? What about those people? See, I just talked about connections earlier and how these things start to connect. Huh. You're a healer. We recovered alcoholics, at least alcoholics I know of. I'm sure addicts are in there. I don't know. We're healers. We're usually the scapegoats from families, and the scapegoats from families are the healers. They're the cycle breakers. If they find a higher power. Otherwise, we don't lead. It's not going to be a good ending. But anyway, and the triangle, which stands for AA's three legacies: recovery, unity, and service. Within our wonderful new world, we have found freedom from our fatal obsession that we have been chosen. This particular symbol is perhaps no accident. The priests and seers of antiquity regarded the circle enclosing the triangle as a means of warding off spirits of evil. And so the triangle and the circle is a way to fight off what spirits of evil. What is alcohol? It is a spirit. It's a little pagan, my friends. Shh. We got all sorts of stuff in AA. I'm just catching that, by the way. It's not pagan, so you know, but it's getting there. All right, it's close. And the AA circle and triangle recovery unity services certainly meant all of that to us and much more. Okay. An alcoholic cannot make it without a tribe. We can't make it without tribe. Fellowship. We got to have fellowship, and it's got to be consistent fellowship too. And then what happens? Then we go out in the world and we run into each other. It's a small world, ain't it? It's smaller than you think, right? And then some days it's really, really big. And on our first evening together here, we sit in St. Louis, which we looked at the base of the triangle, AA's first legacy of recovery, on which everything rests and depends. Right? So recovery's on the bottom. Why? Because it is recovery that's holding up the triangle. Give me a second here. All right. So, I carry one of my chips in my wallet at all times. Now, this one's a circle. This is I don't know how old this is. I know that this was my mother's 8-year chip, though. So, but it doesn't have it on that one. Okay. Thought I did. All right. So service, or on the bottom, that what it says? No, I don't remember. For some reason, I remember recovery being on the right and service being on the bottom and unity on the left. And I think I'm correct on that. So I'm just reading this wrong. All right. During our second evening, we contemplated unity, a second legacy. So recovery is the 12 steps. Unity is the 12 traditions, and service, well, it's service. Okay. And it would be the concepts, I believe. And all its vast meaning for our future. Now we want to think about the third side of our triangle, AA's third legacy of service, which in this afternoon's closing hour will be delivered into your hands for all time to come. Then our symbol will be complete and may have recovery unity, the means by which under God our fellowship has been created, be ever at his command for so long as he may use this society. Good morning, Tyler. It's good to see you, brother. All right. Now, I don't like doing this, but we got to do a couple comparisons. Okay. Alcoholics Anonymous was divinely inspired. It was. If you go back through the history, even the book was divinely inspired. I mean, Bill W. was struck sober for a very good reason. Okay. And Bill wasn't the nicest man. In fact, guess what? He was an egotistical, selfish alcoholic. Did you know that? Not any different from you. Not any different from me. He's not. Might have been a little bit smarter. May have been a little bit better with his money. Well, I don't know. He did have to live with his parents. So maybe not. I don't know. But God chose him for a reason. Okay. It wasn't by accident that his sponsor, Ebby, went to court and some people from the Oxford group were there. And instead of sending sending Ebby to jail, he went to an Oxford house. And Oxford houses are still around today. Great place. Great place. If you're looking for sober living, I would actually choose an Oxford house. They've been around a lot longer, about 60 years now. Okay. And they're not in it for the money. You're going to have to praise Jesus a little bit, but you'll have a roof over your head. Oh, no, we have to talk about Jesus, God forbid. Oh. Right? So if Ebby didn't show up, Bill wouldn't have been sober. And during that talk, while Ebby is 12-stepping him, what happens? Bill has a sudden spiritual experience. Right then and there, he does the steps. He does half the steps sitting there with Ebby. And he wouldn't drink again. All right. Now he'd been trying to get sober, but God presented him with the answer, and the answer was, give it away. The only way I'm going to let you keep this precious gift, Bill, is if you give it away. And I got to sing at this moment, so you got to give it away, give it away. Give it away now. Give it away now. It fits. All right. So Bill proceeds for the next 6 months to start helping other people. Doesn't get anybody else sober. You want to know why? Because he didn't know what the fuck he was doing. This is where Dr. Silkworth comes into play. This is where Dr. Silkworth, you think Bill and Bob came up with 12-stepping? No, Silkworth did that. A non-alcoholic, our biggest medical benefactor ever, taught him how to approach these people because he was going in there and he was shoving it down their throats and it wasn't working. Right? He was on his high horse. He was on his pink cloud. He was shoving God down everybody's throat every chance he got. Why do you think that we have instructions in the working with others that says, don't bring up the spiritual feature in the beginning? These are the mistakes they made in the beginning that they are teaching us. Right? So Silkworth taught Bill how to do it, right? Well, about 6 months into his sobriety, Bill needs to go on a trip to Akron, Ohio. His business fails, but he is not in Akron, Ohio for business. He just doesn't know it yet. He doesn't know it yet. His business fails. In fact, he doesn't have enough money to pay his own board at the moment. He goes walking into the hotel, and the doors of the bar, they're wide open. And you can I know, because you're like me, you can smell the conviviality coming from it. You can picture in your mouth the clinking glasses. Clink, clink, clink. Right? The ice hitting the glasses, the pouring, the people. You can hear it. It sounds like conviviality to him. And he thinks maybe it's time to have a drink. Right? But then something happened. He saw the church directory in front of him, and he decided to make a phone call instead. Here was a very pivotal choice in Bill's. See, the obsession had been lifted, which means he now has the choice of drink, and he chose to go help someone else. Nothing so much ensures immunity from drinking as intensive work with other alcoholics. Now we know where we kind of got that line. He makes a call. Who does he end up talking to? Dr. Bob. And he spent the next, I don't know, I think he spent another 3-4 months there, a couple months, helping them get set up. Then they started 12th stepping together. Then they found that 12th stepping in pairs was a better way to go, because then you had a couple of different experiences. Then came the book. The book, too, was divinely inspired. It was not written by Bill W. It was written by 100 people. Right? If you go, right? Now, I will say Bill did the outline. Sure he did. But it was redlined. There was a lot of red. The tremendous fact for every one of us is that we have discovered a common solution. This is on the bottom of page 17. There is a solution. We have a way out on which we can absolutely agree. They are talking about the first 100 people. Another miracle. Another miracle. That 100 alcoholics could actually agree on something. Huh. Weird. Not really. Not really. Now that we're not when we see it from here, huh? Because we tend to get along. Now imagine all the arguing. We go to our group consciousness, we argue over a fucking quarter. Here they had to argue about saving people's lives and how we say it and how we do it. Thank you, people that came before us. That's why it kind of ticks me off when people say stuff like AA is antiquated. You have no respect for how much work was put into this. No respect. None. Which means you probably don't have much respect for yourself either. I'm not gonna buy it, man. I've seen it work too many times. All right. Then another miracle happened. See, the book was going to be called The Way Out. AA, could you imagine? My name's Dion. I'm a member of A Way Out. Doesn't Alcoholics Anonymous divinely inspired, man? Divinely inspired. See, the book was going to be called A Way Out. Then they found out that there were 12 other books named the same thing. So we went with Alcoholics Anonymous. Now we have AA. Well, look what happens. How would we be able to have NA, CA, OA, and all these other A's if it was called A Way Out? Divinely inspired. Right? I've got other things on my brain with that, but I'm not going to say them because it kind of puts down other programs. I don't want to do that. Nah. But they aren't as divinely inspired. Well, I can't say that because I don't know the history. So I don't know. See, there we go. My opinion would have been an educated guess and probably would have been wrong anyway. All right, let's do the reading. There'll be some repeating here. Amber says, I had the best bartender last night, told me to come back to him for free Shirley Temple refills. Yeah, absolutely. Just tell him you're designated driver. You get free drinks. You do. All right. Yeah. Shirley Temple refills, and he went to the back to find the grenadine for me. When I ordered, I started the order by telling him the deal. He learned that non-alcoholic beer drinks still have ounce of boot. See, education. We're out there educating. That's exactly what we do. Good job, Amber. I'm really fucking proud of you. Good job. See, another miracle right before another thing right here. Right? Angel, yeah. Angel says you should teach a big book class. I'll elaborate later. If you don't know this, I actually have a big book series on there, but it wouldn't be like that. It's called Big Book Thumping. It's the first 63 pages. Doing the whole big book and recording it. That's, so I just did the first 63. So, but yeah, feel free to elaborate on that through whatever. Amber says, and I got my motherfucking cup. I wanted the last 2 games. There you go. See, it all worked out. You had a great Monday night. That's awesome, Amber. I'm so glad. And just think, none of that would have fucking happened if you were still drinking. None of it. September 30th, the circle and the triangle. The circle stands for the whole world of AA, and the triangle stands for AA's 3 legacies of recovery, unity, and service. Within our wonderful new world, we have found freedom from our fatal obsession. AA comes of age, page 139. Early in my AA life, I became employed in its services, and I found the explanation of our society's logo to be very appropriate. Okay. I'm going to tell you, I did not read this first. First, a circle of love. What did I call that circle at the very beginning? What did I say it was? I said it was love. It is love. Brotherly love. A worldly love. It encompasses everyone. Okay. And service with a well-balanced triangle inside, the base of which represents blah, 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 blah. Okay, got that out. First, a circle of love and a service well-balanced triangle inside, the base of which represents our recovery through the 12 steps. Then the other 2 sides, representing unity and service respectively. The 3 sides of the triangle are equal. Ooh, that's a very good point. Each side of the triangles are equal. That means we need to put equal work into unity, recovery, and service. It is a balance. I do all 3. Most people miss it. I know what's missing. I already do. It's the traditions. Because you think they're boring and you think they don't mean. No, then go read them. You haven't even read them yet. How would you know? And they're not very long either. I run my business based off the 12 traditions. I know the traditions very, very well. And I'm still learning them. There's still times when I'm like, oh, I didn't catch that before. All right. It's just as important. Now quit deciding that you think you don't need it. Because remember where that got you in the first place. What got you drunk? Right. I love it. Most of my notifications from Facebook are, your video will be deleted. Yeah. That's mostly what mine is. All right. The 3 sides of the triangle are equal. As I grew in AA, I soon identified myself with this symbol. I am the circle, and the sides of the triangle represent 3 aspects of my personality: physical, emotional, and sanity, and spirituality. That's 4, though. That's 4 sides. The latter forming the symbol's base. Taken together, all 3 aspects of my personality translate into a sober and happy life. Good reading, but I think they're reaching. I think they're reaching it. It's not simple, right? So the sides of the tribe represent three aspects of my personality: physical, emotional sanity, and spirituality. Okay. So physical being what? Which side? Emotional sanity being which side? See, it's not clear. But if it works for them, it works for them. Just because I don't understand doesn't mean it's not true. I'll just have to do a little bit of investigating into it. So, all right, thank you everybody for being here. I appreciate it. I love you. You know I do. Peace out.